You're listening to a daily dose of Proverbs.
Hey guys, my name is Deuce Stevens, and today is the 26th. Today I will be reading from Proverbs chapter 26, verse 22. I will be reading out of the English Standard Version. Verse 22 says this: "The words of a whisperer are like delicious morsels. They go down into the inner parts of the body." This particular proverb is one that we see where it's being repeated here from chapter 18, verse 8. And what we are seeing here is we are seeing this thought and the idea of gossip. And it says that the words are tasty, that they're like delicious morsels. So often when you hear gossip and you hear people talking about others, sometimes it can be easy to hear and really difficult to resist listening to those things. The words of a gossip, in the King James Version, it's referred to as a tale bearer. What we see there is we see that individuals like that in these unguarded moments can cause some very difficult conflict and irreparable injury. The evil may be welcomed in certain circles that thrive on scandal and thrive on these things. The biggest thing to know as believers is that we must stay away from these things. It is detested by God. It should be detested by us as Christians. We see that these words of gossip, these delicious morsels, they go down and they taste good. They go down into the inner parts of the body. And when we receive words of gossip, when we hear words of gossip, they're really hard to not affect us. A lot of times, if we're not careful, they'll go and change the way we think about others. It's so important that when you recognize gossip and when you see gossip, that first of all, you don't become a part of that. Second of all, that you stand up for the individual if you know the individual. And if you don't know the individual, you shouldn't be taking part in that conversation. Even when we hear these words of gossip, so often they're not true, but we have drawn these conclusions about people as a result of it. You know, there's a reason why we see these warnings about being careful what we say and being careful what we take in and being careful and be guarded in the conversations that we have. Once we start divulging in with others on gossip, it becomes easy. It becomes kind of like wildfire. And then we kind of get this thought because of our fallen nature of, man, I wonder what's going on with so-and-so, or can you believe what happened with so-and-so? And as we're seeing here in Proverbs 26, verse 22, we have to be very, very, very careful. This proverb is a point of great concernment to the peace and the welfare of all societies, the one we live in, the ones that have passed, the ones that will come. And it is so important that we stand up against whispering, that we stand up against gossip, that you as a believer in Christ do not take part in it.
Thank you for listening.